that Allah gave the lovers of Sayyidina Muhammad, and they are the servants of Ummah al-Nabi Rashideen al-Mahdieen, means that they are purified souls and guided. The understanding of guidance is a bit difficult for people who don't enter into that ocean. That dunya level guidance, or what we think is knowledge and understanding, it's from point A to point B. You read a book, you have something of what he wrote, I read it, I have some understanding. You search it on the internet, it's still hatta of dunya. It's not from a heavenly source, what Allah wants us to understand from GPS. The understanding of Allah sending out hidayat from the hay of Allah to the dal of Muhammad is the dalil, he is the guide. So then always in our understanding, Allah is sending hidayah, guidance, sending a GPS, sending an understanding, sending what we should be doing in our lives, what we should be doing with our body, what we should be doing with our community, and what we should be doing in preparations for every day of what's happening in this dunya. It's hidayah coming from beyond paradises, and that signal comes to the heart of the ultimate guide of Allah whose name is Muhammad, Sayyidina Muhammad. So the hay of Allah dresses the dal of Muhammad, and he is the best of guides, Dalil al-Khairat. He is the best of guidance. So it means that heavenly, you can't say even heaven, it's beyond heavens. You're talking about Divinely Presence, coming to the heavenly authority and to the soul of the prophetic reality through all the souls of the Prophets. That is guidance. Those that purify themselves and begin the practices of purification, attend the majlis of zikrs, begin to learn how to connect their heart. The first thing they learn is to disconnect from dunya understanding. As much as you are trying to understand with your head from material sources, it's always going to be conflicting with divinely sources. Because material from one to one means what? Means in the level of spirituality. We're not talking, if you want to learn accounting, you don't sit and meditate on accounting, because that's, Allah's not concerned from the dunya, material world. You want to learn accounting, you go to professors, and they from head to head teach you, and that's why you go home with headache. Because they just talk and talk, and it's like, wow, I didn't understand any of that, I don't know what this guy's talking about. But you have to memorize it. You read it and memorize it, read it and memorize it, and eventually you may understand something from it, and you become accountant. Or any type of material job. Heavenly is opposite. Prophet ﷺ teaching, leave your head outside, because the first zikr of tariqah is La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. There is nothing and no divinity but the Divinely Presence, Allah the Creator. Nothing but Allah, nothing but Allah, nothing but Allah. Then they begin to teach us, shut off your material thinking and your head. Your head is blocking every transmission possible, every understanding possible. Your head begins to confuse every signal that's coming. At first, big battle. The head is trying to understand something, the heart is receiving, and the head is negating, saying, no, this is not my way, this is not my people, this is not my understanding, this is not what I wanted. But you're talking about a piece of meat inside a closed cavity. It hasn't seen anything, and it's made up of only illusions. Whatever it was programmed with, it's like a computer. Your mouth, your brain, it's like a computer. It came with some basic programming. Your mother and fathers programmed the rest, and then society and all your experiences. All our experiences program the mind to think the way it thinks. That's not going to take us to the Divinely Presence. So they teach us, shut your head, shut your head, shut your head. Shut your thinking off. Shut your waswas off. Shut all of it off until like you feel like you can flip the switch and become no head, no mind person. Many times Mawlana Shaykh would laugh and say, you're a no mind person, which actually is a compliment. Not majnoon, crazy, is opposite. It means too much mind and is all over the place. No mind person has no thought when it comes to spirituality, is not trying to grab every concept with the head, but taught themselves to negate. I don't know myself, my Lord, how am I going to know you? How am I going to know your books? How am I going to know your prophets? I don't know anything. Because we're truthful to ourselves, I don't know myself, I don't know my name, I don't know my reality. That is negation. We live a life of negating, asking to be dressed from heavenly guidance. That heavenly guidance is emanating through the hearts of the Prophets, through the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad, the ulul amr and the servants of the Divinely Presence who are mahdiin, they're rashideen, that they are purified, they have cleansed themselves, and Allah has given them to be from the mahdiin. They are the most guided. Alhamdulillah, Sultan Awliya, Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Qabbani, and his representative that we are under his feet, inshaAllah he accepts us to be under his feet, Mawlana Shaykh Hisham. That's all that's important. That to connect our hearts with their hearts, to ask for their guidance and their understanding. If we are not able to connect, then to read from their readings, to learn from their teachings, to watch from all their videos, so that we begin to calibrate our heart to their heart. If you keep reading from outside sources, different sources, every article on the internet, every possible crazy theory and contemplation, it's not going to be building anything of the Divinely realities. The ladies understand that when it comes to cooking. If you want to make a fantastic dish, you find the person who knows how to make the dish and you make the exact ingredients. But you get the recipe and then Google 5 other ways to make that dish. And before you know it, it's like kalapacha, not even kalapacha where they put the tooth, the eyeballs, they put the brain, they put everything in that. That's not the soup that we were making. Because you have 5 different, 10 different, 20 different sources are throwing their understanding. Means you are like schizophrenic head now. Because you got 50 different understandings, boom, 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 at the same time trying to open the heart, trying to open the understanding, and not one of them is clear. And then you begin to feel you're always in a daze. You're like somebody on acid. You know Alice in Wonderland? Yeah, dazed and confused. Because she went into the rabbit hole. Means to follow the rabbit, and Prophet described, don't follow the rabbit into the hole. Means don't follow every possible philosophy, every possible thought, every possible teaching, every possible person. You find a servant who's true, and you eat from only their sustenance, and you learn and understand only from their way, and you become so loyal to it, so absorbed in it, that it begins to open its reality. That is divinely guidance. When you begin to take from that one source, and you eat and drink from that source, you read and hear from that source, then you see that how all of that source begins to pull together towards its reality. Then the isharat and the signals coming to the heart become very clear, because you've trained yourself to turn your head off, turn all these other thoughts off, and your heart is just locked onto them. Them being Sultan and Awliya, and then from them to Mawlana Shaykh Hisham. We're in the Naqshbandi way. Those following other shaykhs, they know their shaykhs, they follow the shaykhs. You don't Google every possible thought, watch every possible movie, watch every possible understanding. It confuses every signal and the mind becomes schizophrenic and cluttered with information. And it doesn't know which information now is true. Because that's what shaitan wants. Shaitan knows there's a piece of gold, but he wants to put 5 other things in front and then keep moving them around, keep moving them around, and then we forgot which one was the gold. Because now we're confused. In these days of difficulty, it's a warning. It's a warning to keep the heart connected, practice to lose the mind, lose the waswas and the whispering. If you have a concern and you have a question, you ask the shaykh, you ask the teacher. That should give itself a clarity to the heart again, and then you continue on your path, continue on your path, programming yourself not to think with your head. Stop with the whispering. Why am I whispering? It's a signal like a sickness, it's like a clinic. As soon as we come into the clinic, you go home with medicine from the doctor. In a spiritual path, as soon as we sit in the association, we have to identify our sicknesses. Why do I go home waswasing, whispering, angry at what he said, angry at the association, frustrated by the different energies? Something's happening. Why am I confused with so many different thoughts? Something's happening. That is the medicine that they are trying to put into the hearts and into the souls, and the biggest block to that is the mind. The mind trying to say, I'm different, because it's the ego that doesn't want to enter that ocean. How is it that you're different? God created you with a different light. The light is all one. Created you with a different body, all the different bodies, every face is different. From the same 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils and 1 mouth, every face is different. But the reality is one. But the ego is at every opportunity is trying to block, trying to block, trying to block. And the whole way is based on shutting the head, shut the head, shut the head. Use the head for your sustenance. But open the heart and the reality of the heart so that these signals begin to come, these signals begin to come. This is the time of faith. What is opening, and we've said from the time we arrived here 7 years now, the difficulties are going to come that are unimaginable. And these difficulties won't be resolved by the head. As a matter of fact, if you follow your head, you are guaranteed to perish. And the perishing, everybody going to perish, but not an easy perishing. When these difficulties come and they say, take this, so why would I put that sickness into me as a cure from that sickness? So now you take it. Means you'll be convinced with your head to take a medicine to cure you from a sickness you don't even have. And people will line up because they have no faith. And faith is weak. If the heart is not locked and not sure and not positive, every day is a different feeling, every moment is a different feeling, every second looking and learning from different places, that's not a heart of faith. and you don't even know the tenets of your faith, the law of your deen. That is faith. Faith, as soon as these things happen, my faith is in Allah. My coming is in Allah's hands, my going is in Allah's hands. There's nobody who can put anything into me that's going to make me live longer unless Allah has written it. And nobody can take anything from me that Allah hasn't taken from me unless Allah has written it. Means the days of faith opening, when difficulty begins to come and the difficulty that are around us, but they're veiling us. One, Allah is veiling and the people are veiling. What type of things are coming from this ocean? What type of sicknesses are moving within that ocean? Why are the animals doing what they're doing in that ocean? Why is that radiation not being talked about? Why are these difficulties not talked about? Because it's not good for money and it's not good for business. And by the time people know, that time is too late. But the way of faith and the way of the heart tells us, no, we attend the majlis of zikr for Allah's rahmah. That rahmah and that barakah is deposited into your account. You don't need to use that account now, it will be used through those difficulties. The food and the water that you drink here, it is your medicine that they are injecting every night. They are dosing with these medicines to protect against these difficulties. Not the medicine that's false and not the medicine that's fake, but the medicine from Allah. Means the zikr of Allah, the remembrance of Allah, the salawat on Prophet, that is the medicine for the soul. The soul becomes furuqun mashkoon, becomes so loaded with energy, so loaded with might, that as these difficulties are thrown upon dunya, that soul has so much blessing, it merely pushes them away. Mawlana Shaykh described, Shaykh Dagestani Qaddasallahu Siru, that when they begin to throw radiation onto the earth, the believers will have like a flu, just coughing, sneezing and sickness, but they won't die from that. Because they know what's coming and they know how to prepare. Our mind blocking us from that remedy, our mind blocking us from attending, our mind blocking us from eating and drinking. Our shaitan comes and says, I'm full. Who's full? How do you come to a clinic? How do you come to barakah and blessings? How do you come to the tables of paradise and say, I'm full? Impossible. Unless it's the bad ego. It's saying, no, don't take that medicine. You have to stay sick. Means the way of the heart is unimaginable. Guidance of the heart, unimaginable. And the realities that Allah and Prophet bestowing on majlis al-zikr and the associations of remembrance is a shifa and a healing that is unimaginable. And this ship won't make sense until people understand what's coming. When people begin to see the difficulty, hear the difficulty, now you can research the difficulty. What happened to all the starfish? What happened to all the sardines? Why are all the whales eating the dolphins? There's no food in there. Everything that was on that side is now swimming to this side, looking for its sustenance and rizq. The battle has begun in that ocean, looking for sustenance. Imagine what's going to be happening unto this dunya. And so these are the days of faith, the attendance into the association, the participation in the association, the eating from the association. This is the healing, this is the barakah, this is the blessings inshaAllah. And that Allah bestow more and more of that blessing, Prophet bestow more and more of that blessing, and that only Allah always guide us and watch over us, and pray within our heart for our understanding that the head shut off and the heart begin to open. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إلى شرف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى أصحابه الكرام ولمشايخنا في طريقتنا.